guys, it's Mariavicz here and welcome back again to my channel. I know it's been a minute, so I do apologize for that. It's, I think, very obvious that it's been a while since I uploaded a video, let alone kept you guys in the loop about anything. So I figured that today, since I have the house to myself for a couple days, I'm just gonna tell y'all what's up. Disclaimer though, by the time you guys are watching this, I would have already given birth. If you can tell by the title below, this is definitely something that has to do with pregnancy and stuff that maybe you guys are wondering, you know, to get updates here and there in the now kind of thing as they happen. However, I am purposely filming this while I'm still pregnant because I don't want questioning during my pregnancy. I don't want comments coming in with judgment or certain critiques and stuff like that during my pregnancy. So I'm waiting to post this until after I am actually with a baby. So I just want to get that out of the way because I know some people might be like, oh my god, but like she never told us anything. I did that on purpose. So yeah, you actually might see other videos before this comes out just so I can fill in the gaps and everything. But for now, assuming with the time frame that I don't have to even like sit down, get cute and like look presentable for a YouTube video, I'm just saying, if this is the first time that you are seeing a video for a very long time and it's all of a sudden that the fact that I'm pregnant, this is how life is right now. But yeah, let's just get to it. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. I'm happy that you clicked on this video, whether it is for the one time or you know you want to subscribe down below and stay tuned for the rest of the cookies coming along the way. I will be making this a series anyways, so people who are purposely looking for this can just find it directly. But of course, if you feel like staying around for a longer period of time by subscribing to the channel, I super appreciate it no matter what you choose. But thank you for the view regardless. I super appreciate it. Like I said, if you are interested in subscribing, make sure that you ding the little notification bell right beside the subscribe button. Please turn the button from red to white and you'll be updated as to every single time that I upload a video. And just in general, if this is your first time here as well, these are my socials. If you want to go ahead and follow me there for more live updates as they come. So yeah, let's just get started. I do have some notes here on my phone that I didn't want to forget to mention, so in case you see me looking down, that's what that is. But yeah, let's just get started. All right, so I'm pregnant, as the title below may suggest. Let's just get right on with it. The first topic that in this series that I will be talking about is finding out that I was pregnant and my feelings around it, things that I was told by doctors as soon as I saw them kind of thing, and yeah, all that good stuff for the beginning of me finding out that I was pregnant. So let's start off with the basics of how I guess saw signs of perhaps me being pregnant. I think it's pretty obvious that you have to have certain things not happening, such as your period, in order for you to, you know, if you have your period regularly, and even if you have it irregularly, it becomes a little bit more infrequent than the usual and you are taking part in sexual intercourse, obviously that. How did I basically see the signs of me being pregnant? Essentially, my husband and I, obviously we are married, we do things, and I had been off of birth control, I want to say for about 6 or 7 months. It's just something that upon my personal research and my personal choice, I just want to get off birth control because in general down the line there are perhaps certain side effects that I wanted to avoid by just stopping to take it. Yeah, my husband and I just decided that if I was going to stop taking birth control, then we were just going to be more careful, etc, etc. And even if you do take birth control, I hope it's obvious that sometimes people, I have a friend of a friend who did get pregnant on the pill because the guy still did his thing inside her. So just know that you have to do your own research and take your own precautions because one person's story is definitely not gonna indicate that it's gonna be the same for you. Some people do all the precautions, they take birth control, they do the pull-out method, and they wear condoms. And for example, they take plan B as well. Another thing about plan B is not necessarily recommended that you take that because it is a strong dosage of hormones to stop the pregnancy. So just be aware that if you do take plan B, some doctors even recommend that you don't take it more than twice in like a year, more than like 4 times in a lifetime kind of thing. So just be aware of the things that you're getting into. But anyways, we chose to still do the pull-out method. This TMI perhaps, but this is just sharing information. My husband does not use a condom. Just personal preference between the two of us. By the way, I should have said this at the beginning, but the reason why I'm sharing this is because a lot of people do search for this information online. Not by any means am I blasting my husband for doing X, Y, Z or not doing X, Y, and Z. I'm not trying to put myself and my vulnerabilities out there online just for giggles and shits. This is literally just so somebody can benefit from my information. And after a lot of thought, some of my friends were saying that they love watching these kind of videos and they love getting informed for when they do want to become pregnant. And some people have told me that, you know, I just wish that more information was there on YouTube. There's plenty of stuff on TikTok and on Instagram. However, not a lot of people can watch like endless TikToks versus just watching one video that it may be like half an hour long or whatever. So that's why I'm doing this. I hope that nobody comments on the fact that we made certain choices and everything, because this is just for somebody to benefit from. I'm not just over here opening up about certain aspects of my life just for giggles and shits. But anyways, if you're watching this, I did get Moses' consent to obviously talk about this. Yeah, let's just move forward. So moving on, like I did say before, I did stop taking my birth control. So I was off that. Moses didn't do certain things or whatever because it was a consensual decision for us to do that. And so at some point I noticed that my period was late by a lot. I've had periods where they do get delayed by like a heavy amount of time. However, nothing this drastically long. So that's when Moses and I were kind of speaking about certain things, and a lot of things lined up in that week where we were talking a lot about whether it's babies or topics related to babies, such as like abortion and certain views on the Catholic Church or the Christian Church and all these things, and just like a lot of things, but not necessarily bad things that were happening to us or like in our surroundings. We just happened to talk a lot about babies, and so the conversation came up of like, what if I am? So then the next day or a couple days later, I believe, Moses was actually the one who got pregnancy tests. I did them both on the same day. It was one of the ones that were like the P ones. I don't know if there's any other types of pregnancy tests because I'm not aware of these things, but both turned out to be positive. So that's that. So that's how I found out that I was pregnant. But let's move on to obviously what people may be wondering most about, which is how I felt in the moment, I guess what we did moving forward. So in general, my feelings, for those of you who know me personally, and for those of you who don't, because I'm gonna be revealing the same information, I'm the kind of person that, like, although kids are cool and everything like that, it's not like I saw myself ready to have my own child at the moment, and even for any time coming up, you know what I mean? But my views on finding out that you're pregnant and maybe you weren't planning on becoming pregnant, well, I'm the kind of person that thinks, and not to get into morals and like people's principles and stuff like that, but my personal decision, and luckily I shared this with Moses, like we see eye to eye on this. It's not like we were, you know, one person was thinking one way and the other party was thinking a different way. But for the both of us, we believe that an adult decision was made between two consensual adults to do an adult activity, which may turn up with an adult consequence, which is a child, or multiple children if it's twins. So given that, morally and in our core values and everything, Moses and I both saw that as, you know, this is our choice, this is what we did, choosing to do this consensually, fully aware of what could potentially happen. And so this happened to happen. And there have been many times where Moses and I did the activity and it did not turn out to be anything in particular. My period came around, but this time it just didn't. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of like our stance on it. So we chose to keep the baby from the very beginning. There wasn't any question that I was gonna do anything else besides keep it. So I'm not judging anybody who chooses to do one thing or the other with their body, but that's just my personal choice. So another reason to disclaim, please don't come at me on the comments for choosing to do something that I chose to do, because it's my choice at the end of the day. I wasn't coerced into any certain decision. I wasn't forced into any certain decision. My husband and I both saw eye to eye with the situation, and so we did what we did. So how I felt about it, like I said, we weren't planning on, well, not that we weren't planning. If it was up to Moses, just like it would be up to any husband or any boyfriend or anything, any male in general, I feel like men just want so many babies precisely because they don't have to go through the trouble of pregnancy. They don't have to go through a big belly. They don't have to go through the stretch marks, the hormones. They don't have to go through ups and downs and mood swings. They don't have to go through having to literally change your entire wardrobe because you can't fit things anymore. If it was up to men, I feel like they would have like 10 kids by the time that they were like in a relationship with a woman for 2 years. But obviously, LOL, that has other consequences and things that you know need to be prepared for in order to take that decision, especially, you know, a mutual relationship where both parties would want that. But let's assume we're moving forward with just talking about an actual exclusive relationship that is serious to begin with. Yeah, Moses was ecstatic to find out. He was super happy. He was like, yeah, like, you know, like, well, Moses is very chill, but in his interior, he was definitely happy that it was a positive test result versus a negative test result, because if it was up to him, by the time that we found out, we should have already had like 4 kids. Because again, he's a man, he just wants all the kids possible. But me, on the other hand, I was, like I said, not planning on getting pregnant at the moment. Moses and I have certain tribulations that we're going through, especially right now this year, but this came on after we found out. So, oh, by the way, I never mentioned. So I found out that I was pregnant on November 9th of 2022. And so my expectant date is July 1st. That's the 40-week mark based on like the app that I use and some other things that the doctors were telling me to look into and everything. And so yeah, July 1st is my due date. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, we found out that we were pregnant exactly November 9th. I remember I was coming back from salsa class and I took the test. It was a Wednesday. I literally, I don't think I'll forget these things, especially because I'm really good with like dates and stuff. But yeah, November 9th, I found out that I'm pregnant, and I wasn't too whoop-de-doo about the decision or the outcome, if you want to call it that. If it was up to me, if it didn't attack my morals, I would, you know, choose to perhaps explore other options that could maybe, you know, morally speaking, there's no other options beside adoption, giving it up for adoption, that we could, you know, not be responsible for, in our views, once again, murdering a baby. However, we just chose to keep it, obviously, but I was still very antsy about it, especially with some topics that I will discuss right now. The main reason, and I spoke to Moses for the first time about it 2 weeks or so after I found out that I was pregnant. The reason why I was feeling the way that I was, not only because you never feel prepared for certain things, and even if you do feel prepared, you might not actually be prepared because life will throw different things at you for you to learn. But we were definitely not financially prepared to take on this situation. Even at the time of filming this is being filmed in late April. I don't think it's gotten so much better to the point where we feel like comfortable or whatnot, but there's different ways to resolve that situation. But the main reason, and I want to say the number one reason why I felt the way that I felt, and I actually broke down to Moses about this, is the fact that I wanted to be just the 2 of us for a little bit longer, whether that meant another 6 months, another year, another 2 years, etc. I just really wanted to be selfish and just have Moses to myself for a while longer before we did embark on having more, or having children, period. I broke down and just, you know, felt the way that I felt because of a selfish reason, which I think is totally valid. Once you do have kids, obviously things change until they're very independent and can do stuff on their own. And even when they do grow up to be like in their late teens and 20s and everything, as a mom and as a dad, but especially as a mom, you will always have your kids present in everything that you do and everything that they do. You want to be able to protect them, even if they're out on the streets or whatever. You will always be thinking of them. That's what everybody tells me, so I'm assuming that I wouldn't be any different. That's the reason why I felt that way, and I just wanted to be honest with him about it, because not that we were getting rid of the baby or anything, but I wanted him to understand why I felt the way that I felt, given that it isn't the outcome that I wanted, but it is the one that we're accepting. And so there will be other things that come along the way, such as like, you know, not seeing eye to eye with certain things, and other things that will come about when it's time to actually raise the baby, such as like upbringing, food, etc. So yeah, that's basically the gist of how I felt. So definitely not so positive, but it is the honest truth. And it's okay to feel, if you're not trying to have a baby, I feel like it's totally valid. Just like people are excited to have a baby, you can be totally like wah wah about it. So don't let anybody, including the internet, tell you how you should feel. These are your decisions, you know what I'm saying? I think honestly that's basically it that I'll share for right now. I spoke to one of my doctors right away in order to get some, because I've never been pregnant, obviously, and then there are some things which are new to me, just because there aren't that many babies in my family, and those that were babies a while ago, they were not in the country, so it's not like I had the opportunity to like see them grow, know the standards of like time frames where, like, for example, kids can like lift their neck on their own, or the time that they can start getting potty trained, etc. I don't know these things. So yeah, I did call my doctors right away to kind of let them know the situation, and then they could recommend me to other things. But I will be talking about those in other videos within this series. Feel free to leave your comments and questions down below. I'll be happy to share my experience and like the answers that I do have, if I do have them, for said subject or the comment that you bring up. Stay tuned for, well, the next video in this series, which will be about my first trimester. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you clicked on it purposely to learn some stuff because you are an expecting mom as well, or you have somebody who you love and you know that they're pregnant, they have some nerves about the subject and everything, I hope this kind of helps. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and also share it with anybody who may be interested in the subject or may like this kind of content. And of course, if you haven't done so already and you like the video and you want to stay tuned for more, including this whole series, please make sure to subscribe down below by clicking the button down below and turning it from red to white, and you'll be updated as to every single time that I upload a video. But of course, only if you ding the little notification bell beside the subscribe button so you don't miss a single upload from me. As always, these are my socials, so feel free to follow me on there if you want to see updates about literally anything. And yeah, I appreciate every single one of you guys who has stuck around for a lot of years and just simply continues to support me, however infrequent I am with this channel. I love you guys so much. Thanks so much for always tuning in, and even if you guys are new, welcome. This is a safe space for us to discuss different things, and looking forward to the next one. And until next time, guys, keep up the awesome, never change, and I'll see you guys next time. Dios me los bendiga a todos. Amatoria out.